Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to Retail Merchandising. Today we're going to be talking an extension from last time. We were looking at retail site location. Now this next learning is going to be an expansion of what we touched on in our last learning. We're going to be talking about negotiating a lease, estimating potential sales from the area, evaluating different locations to see which one's the best one, evaluating site location. Remember, you want to be in a location. I'm just going to do general and we go on here. You want to be in a location where you have customers that are coming to you because you're able to take care of a problem they have. You're a business. They want a hot dog. They could come to my hot dog place. I make it just the way they want it, special order or whatever. And you see a lot of places are there now. Let's look at Napa or AutoZone or some of those auto places. They're for do-it-yourselfer. Not really real complicated. You change a filter out, wiper blades, oil change, and maybe some a little bit higher end. Not the real expensive. Like you could order, but that's not what you'd go for the part. But when you're looking at it, they're not looking at the cars that are just made because you have the 3-year full warranty. Anything wrong, you come in here and we'll fix it. It was part of that. They're looking for cars that are already 3 years old. That means you have to pay out of your pocket. So now they're going to look at, okay, where do we open up and what do we keep inventory? They open up for an area and they look at the driver facility. They sell them, I mean, they sell your name. They say we got so many cars licensed in this area that are fit your category. And they'll say, okay, so here's a good area. How many other auto zones are there? None. How many other, not auto, Napa or whatever, auto places are there? Who else sells stuff? Remember last time we were looking at that ID number, that each business that they do for the service. They also have similar things like that for the product. So you look at what other, because auto parts, Walmart also sells some auto parts. Target, not trying to get out of that. Target wants to go higher end. They want to be the low end entry to like a Macy or a Nordstrom. They're trying to get rid of pennies. Pennies is what pennies want to get in. I think the name J.C. Penney, people think of Penny, then at washing machine like Sears. It's hard for them to break up when they're looking at the brand name. You know what I mean? When you're trying to change to a different market. You want to expand your market that's acceptable to different market. But when you're trying to go from a low-end market to a high-end market, people at the low-end say, you know what I mean? And low-end say, oh, you're a little bit too hard. So you're in that in between. Some make the transition well. Others don't. So you have to find out where you fit in on that, okay? So this is what we're going to be talking about. This is, so let me go right into this thing. So anyway, so you see, so when I come in with my Subaru, and it's already 8 years old, they already have my part. Because they know these parts usually break down. They have a statistical, I took a stats class in my undergraduate. And the person was a statistician working for an auto, and I think it's like Ford or something, he said. Yeah, he's retired then. And he's teaching. He's consulting now. Same thing like I do. And he basically came in and he says, you know what? He says, anytime, if they give you a 3-year warranty, or 25,000, 50,000 miles, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about? Those parts have to have a life shelf working for at least 3 years before they break down. They make the money on the after parts. Trust me, double. Because they already got the parts. They just pay. They make the money on that. That's the after parts, a whole different business. That's like in the stock market, you have your initial public offering, I get the money, and then you sell on the secondary market. Remember? So anyway, so if you got the car for 3-year warranty, they don't want any problems with it because you're going to say, hey, I got a 3-year warranty. I got a warranty. I'm always taking it into the shop. That doesn't make good business. That doesn't do that cognitive dissonance. Remember, you always buy something, you want to know, I wonder if this is the right one, this is the right product. You always had that second thing, I should have bought the other product. I knew it in my heart. And sometimes that's fine. You're probably right. You have to work on your intuition. I'm a business person, marketing person, manager. right? What do you have to do? Small business consultant. When you're dealing with people, they're not going to tell you your product stinks or I don't like your product. They're going to try to deflect it from the real cause. It may be something simple, just may feel uncomfortable talking to you about it. I always ask, why, go to my competition. They already have your competitor already been talking to them. So you have to understand also what your competitor is doing. I'm talking about from sales to sales because my background is basically sales, business to business. But I have to understand the consumer market. That's how you add value to my clientele. Understand their market. They don't have to do it. I know their market better than they do. That means their consumer market, even though I'm not directly selling to them. But you see how you have your niche. Work with small businesses. They need help. They don't pay, but they don't complain as much. They don't expect all these fancy presentations. They just want to keep their business going. What do I do? Give me something simple. Don't give me a 50-page summary corporate. Academics. I tease. My God, they're going to have all these write-ups. Oh, geez, presentation. Tell me in a nutshell. Lower your prices 5%. What do you mean, lower 5%? You get 20% more customers. That 5% will be eaten up. You'll make a 10% profit. How the hell does that work? Remember, you could lower your rate or cut into your profit margin, bring more customers in, but raise your profit margin or lower stuff. Remember the previous chapter we talked about pricing, Walmart and Macy's. Macy's sells a few items of very high-end to very high-end customer clientele. Walmart sells a lot of stuff, low-end, very low profit margin in each one, but when you look at the return on investment, they're almost equal. Different business models. Understand where you fit in. You're starting now. Right now, most of you starting up, you're going to have that niche. I want everybody to find that niche. Okay, let's get into here. Location. I'm just trying to stimulate you guys and gals, okay? Okay, metro and statistical. Look at the area and the metropolitan factors affecting the attractiveness for locating the store, where you're at. Now, let me talk about factors locating the store. I used to drive a lot in the city, account manager, different things, comment, I'm always around. I would always notice that the small hot dog place, I'm always in the hot dog, because that's the basic thing. They all have to do everything you do in the business at the McDonald's, at the Burger King, and the McDonald's, and all the corporate, Baxter, they all have to do the same activities, only on a larger scale. But anyway, I drive by and see all these semi-trucks parked up, and here's this hot dog stand on the corner. It looks all right. Nice, it's also a neighborhood, because you got semi-trucks in there. I mean, a nice neighborhood, well, no noises, all right? All electric trucks, maybe. But you're going to come in here, and I see all these trucks, and they come into this place and eat. And I was okay, I'm driving. I come in my suit. I take off my tie so I don't look too nerdy. You know what I mean? Go in there in the truck. The table's all right. They're clean, very clean. But they're not new. You can see chips, everything else. Walls painted, very clean. No, very. You could tell it's a clean establishment. Well kept. The prices, I looked at the prices. Beef, regular price. When they come out, I get a beef like this, fries like this. I go, holy shoot. You talk to the owner, what happened? He says, I don't have any overhead. He said, I own this place. It's my place. I live upstairs. Sure, I open the shop down in here. He says, what the overhead? I don't do much. I clean up. Very clean. I could spend that money putting more into my product. Customers come in here, they don't say, oh, nice place, oh, this is really nice. I'm hungry, I'm on the road, I'm in a damn semi-truck. They know the customer. So I'm coming in there, I really get a good meal. Trust me. Then you go to Portillo's. Portillo's nice, don't get me wrong. You take nice clients in there, very nice atmosphere, beautiful. You know what I mean? For a nice hot dog and everything else. Bring them in, you get international. They like to try American hot dogs. Remember, you got international clients, you don't bring them in to eat Chinese food or Japanese food. You give them something American. But so I get a nice deal, but it costs me 4 times what I pay there. But I get the atmosphere, okay? So look at those factors, and then you look at number of stores. And all this basically, when you look at this chapter, they have maps in here. I think I got maps in here from the author, Exhibit A. Okay, remember, here's a store. You come in here, economic. You go around, considering location, economic, competition, FET, numbers of stores in the area. Right. I think this is the location, exhibit. Remember, you could get a lot of this information online. That's what I'm trying to make you do. When you're doing your business proposal, oh, I don't know, search it, for goodness sake. What the heck? That's how I do it before I meet a client. Find out something about them that he or she doesn't know. Look, everyone, when you have your network, people use different search engines. When you look at social media, YouTube's on the way out. No one listens to them because it's so damn censored. They go BitChute or GetTube or something like that. Remember, there's different media. I, as a business, I may not agree with any of them. I don't really care. I'm selling a product. That's where my clients are going. That's where I got to advertise. Welcome to business retail. You have to be flexible and adjust. That what makes you successful in all this going on, because you're small. That's why they're trying to get rid of the small business, the larger ones, because they can't compete with us, because we're like, I want to say, I'm in Illinois, like a weed. We pop up everywhere because we could adjust to any kind of a climate. You can't get rid of us. Hey, I'm a business owner. Let's get going. Positive going forward. Remember, you open a business in the COVID-19 or at the end of COVID-19, and we'll be coming back up again, okay? So now you're looking at that. Now you're looking at evaluating. You look at site characteristics. Remember I talked before in the last chapter about someone opening up a nice winery next to a Little Caesars or a Walmart. It just doesn't fit in, or a Great Cuts, because the people coming in there, they complement each other. They're looking for they're thrifty users, thrifty shoppers. And the area that draws them into this area, there's a dollar store, all thrifty type of people. Versus you going someplace else, if you work in Northbrook, you know what I mean, Northbrook Court. The shops there are all high-end. Watches, Rolex. Time to get the hell out of here. They look at your watch. You don't look at your face. They look at your clothes. You don't look at all the jewelry. They could tell it's real, it's fake. You could tell. I could tell it's a different suit, wool or imitation. Different character. You could tell the way they talk. Do you remember? So you have to look at this. So you look at the site. So where you're opening up, it depends what clientele you want. If you open up and you expect this clientele, another clientele comes in there. Don't be upset. To get the money by my product, I just change my decor to fit them. I'm a chameleon. I'm in a neighborhood. The neighborhood changes, or the geographic area changes. What happened? I move where they go, or I adjust, or I go out of business. Welcome to capitalism. I don't care where you're at. That's the whole business. That's the whole cycle. Okay. Defining locations with shopping centers, strip malls. We talked about that last course. I'm not getting into it. Define. This is all extension. When I'm looking at this, you're looking at measuring trade. You're looking open. I'm opening up thing and I'm paying so much in rent. I had to pay off that rent, but then I had to make some money on my product. So here's what's the business. I'm paying so much for rent. I bring my inventory. I got to buy that 6 months in advance. I bring that in. I got to pay the ComEd, for goodness sakes, electric, gas. And usually a lot of these facilities are electric because it's easier to maintain, easier to go up in the gas. I don't have to have pipes all over. That's the only reason. I'm just telling you why a lot of the malls and everything are all electric, because it's easier from a perspective, a maintenance perspective. From a cost perspective, operating two different animals. All right? Good? But from a maintenance perspective, it's a lot easier to get in because stores moving forward, so it gives me a lot more flexibility. But so I'm looking at that. So these are all these factors. So I have all these factors, and now I want to make some money off of it. So I have to make sure I got customers that are going to come in there and buy my product at that cost, so I can make my profit margin. We'll talk later on about pricing in a couple of chapters. Okay. All right, so read that, competition, Yelp, where you can get your information, trade association, Chamber of Commerce. Always join the Chamber of Commerce. Why? Because they'll help you out. Because when you come in there to a new area as a business retailer, whatever, you say, hey, I'm selling shirts. I'll change from, I think I got a lot of fashion made. I'm selling shirts made from Poland, 100% Polish hemp. Oh, really? Why did I use hemp? Here it's very acceptable. Hemp is the byproduct, is the stepsister of marijuana, for lack of a better word. You don't get high anything else, but it has a lot of durability, a lot of ropes, a lot of construction, all the ropes, very good strength. Natural, real easy to grow and everything else. Looks like it, but not the same. All right, but anyway, but it's natural. I can make it flexible, make it strong. Made in Poland, hemp. This all ties into my store. Makes me different. People come in there. People come in there natural. Hey, I like this now. I'm trying to help George, a little business person. Hey, COVID-19 hurt my business. I'm coming up. Help me out, okay? So, but I get information. So now I come in there, and I'm in the Chamber of Commerce, and they will basically help me. They say, hey, yeah, here's how you advertise. Here's our cost. They'll give me all that information. Go to the Chamber of Commerce, and they'll tell you what's the demographic, how many people, how many make here, how many kids. Is this, if I'm opening a daycare, there's no kids in the area, Lake Forest. Why the heck open it up there? People want to drop them off before school, be on the way to work, so they're close to home, or on the way back from work, close to home. Not on, someplace in that route pattern makes sense for them. No kids. What are you going to do? You're going to be out of business. So what do? All the kids, you open up, all the kids are gone. What do you do as a business? Oh my God. I have a daycare center for seniors. We have two different things. Some of them may have dementia. Some that may lose their train of thought. Some that just want to be active when they meet other seniors. So you could do it depending on what's there. Tie in with a church, tie in with a synagogue, tie in with a mosque. They all have these things to help people. And remember, the population is growing. How do I adjust? That's what you do. You're doing the same thing. You're watching kids, I'm watching seniors. What's the difference? A little older, they pay better. All right, I'm a business person. Come on, remember, I want you to remember, the next thing is estimate potential sales, and this is where you're going to come in. You have different models. And now these models are kind of interesting. Let's look at this. Let me make this a little bit bigger, because you have to know this. So I'll make this 200. Okay. All right, so when I'm looking at this here, factors affect existing stores. So when you're looking at sales, whatever affects there, if there's a role coming that affects all the existing stores, will have the same impact on stores that you have now or in the future. So you have to look at certain different factors, regression model, and we went into that. So I'm not going to go into that. Just be aware of that. Now the other thing, analog, used by small change retail described for successful, and tries to find a site that is similar. So you know what works for me, and I try to have a site who have similar. If I always, let's see, if I buy Fords and I always have problems with Fords, I won't buy another Ford, so I'll buy a GM. But and I may have one, so I always try to buy some places that if I buy GM, the dealer gives me these things. I get certain amenities that I get free. I get coffee, they drop me off, I can pick me off at work. I'm here, they'll drop me off at work, free service. I call them up and they'll pick me up and drive. And a lot of places do that. Not for the low end, for the higher end cars, they'll do that for you because you're paying a little bit more for the service and everything else. It's a value added that brings you in there in that area. So I'm looking for another place that's similar to what I have here. And so if I'm looking at that works here, I have to find the same clientele or similar that may work. If not sure, I'll open up and see it works. May have to tweak it a little over there. Okay? So we have that. Okay, now the last one, negotiating an elite. This is the most common one, a percent of sales. So the more I sell, they get more in the leash. It's a floating thing. It's almost like the union does when we go into labor. It used to be to give me a flat fee. Now they say, oh, you got raises, you're working overtime. So it's a percentage of your pay before the government gets it. Not after the government, before. Oh, come on. You get more, and then when you look what the pay the union do, but then I get the medical, I get this. So you have to evaluate that as an individual. Now think of evaluating this for the benefits that you're doing as from your employer, you're going to switch an employee. Think of the same thing as a business owner. Where am I going to negotiate? I'm living here. I'm going to an apartment. Which one? I get here. I only paid 1 month lease. Here, do you want 4 months? Why 4 months? More people get out. Maybe it takes longer to evict them. Remember, I'm a business owner. I only asked 1 month because in a month I could get them out and bring somebody else in. Bottom line. 4 months because now there's more rules and everything else. The process, you could rebel. By the time it takes me 4 months, so I get 4 months first. before you leave. And usually people know that, so they don't pay for the last 4 months. But usually it depends what your contract is. So if they don't pay the first month right off, so you go into default. Maybe that's the way it's set up. Remember, I'm a business person. You have to understand. So you're negotiating, but you're doing it on the percentage or fixed rate. Here's the things: learn, contingency, prohibited use. What could you sell? What can't you sell on here? You should be aware of that, and that basically gives you information. Your term. An apartment. I can have pets, dogs. This one, no dogs. You can have a cat, no dogs. But if I'm allergic, doesn't make no cat, no dog. Because cats, you don't have to walk out. You can just leave them, give them a litter box. You're pretty good. Dogs have to be walked out. They bark. They do all kind of noises. I had a cat. I've got dogs. I got a little more room. Dogs are okay. All right. But it depends what the rules are. Okay. Good. Exclusive clause basically prohibits you from leasing to tenants to sell competing product. When you move into something in the store, you don't want your competitor. I'm selling George's hot dog. No, I got Gladys's hot dog. Hey, come on. It's still a hot dog. She puts this on, he puts this on. It's still a hot dog. Doesn't make a difference. Unless Gladys's hot dog is all veggies. Doesn't do anything with meat. Mine is the real meat one. Hers is, or chicken. Hers is the real veggie type. But then I could start having that and get away, or she could have that. Do you see me? So you don't want that. So there's clauses in there. Okay? So, and then the key terms. When you look at the key terms, the 6 slides, look at them. I got them in there. And these are just words. Look at this. Don't worry all this. Just pick up real quickly what you want. These help you develop a vocabulary, and then I have them. The author has a real nice job on that. I sometimes go with the key terms if I want. It's easier to talk and bring examples. When you read the book is easy reading. Very nice, got pictures. And what I want you to do, man, I never thought about that. You know all this. Now you're putting in the vocab, the labels, okay, and labor to get the work done. Okay, so let's open this up, expand to 1. I'm live. So those of you, I do very little editing. Excuse me. Just like I would be if I would be in the classroom or doing a presentation. Can't put it back. I do look at my own videos and I try to do better. Let's see where I'm at. I try to keep them under 20. 22 I went over because I gave you a little bit more. Sometimes in business you got to know when to shut up, but you got to know how to make the customer or the student feel comfortable. You got to use their language. I'm trying to keep it simple. The book gives you the terminology. I take the terminology and I put in every day. Here's what you're really doing anyway. So when you're in an interview, when you're talking to them, you understand them, not the vocab, what they're thinking. When I use that word, it gives me an image. Come on, some of you are fashion major. You know, when you say you give an expression, an image. All words are vocabulary, speech are images. So if I could do a picture with the image, it connects more. The more connections, the more they'll come back. The more I build a relationship and understand the individual, how they're coming and their culture, the stronger I become. I'm going too long. Bye. I'll see you next lesson.